Welcome to the channel. This is Whiskey Pour, and today I'm doing a blind tasting of Blanton's and Eagle Rare. This is a family head-to-head battle. Let's see who comes out on top. Okay, before we get started, I want to go over how I went about this process. So, after my first episode of doing Blanton's and Bowman Brothers, obviously not Eagle Rare, Bowman Brothers, I was asked to do more Buffalo Trace products head-to-head against Blanton's, and I thought, hey, I got some Eagle Rare, why not give that a go? I've got some other bottles too, but Eagle Rare seemed like the next most ideal candidate to this head-to-head battle with. So I had my wife pour up 2 samples here. I don't know which one is which, and there's a little piece of paper right here, which has the answer key on it, set it to the side for the time being. So I've got bottle 1 and 2. Don't know which one is which. I will say the color is very similar. She put about an ounce in each one of these. So I'm gonna pour them up and we're gonna see which one goes where, or which one takes the lead takes the win in this head-to-head family feud battle. So glass number 1, it's gonna be over here by the Blantons. Glass number 2. Gonna be over here by the Eagle Rare. Okay, so before I get too far into this, I will make a few statements that the Blanton's has been open for probably about 3 months now, whereas this pour of this Eagle Rare is a fresh crack from this bottle. So this Eagle Rare has had less time to oxidize and potentially open up and change flavors. So we'll see if that affects the overall competition. Again, I don't know which one is which. So I'm gonna start with the glass on my right, your left, next to the Blanton's. Coat the glass a little bit. I am trying my best to not swish the glass around as much and get a little bit more coating of all the surfaces of the glass to try to open up the nose. I've seen a few people doing this, and I've been trying to practice it more instead of just like wine and just swishing it about. It's supposed to help with the aroma. I do like that. That is nice, actually. So a little grapey. Probably more grapey. You get some vanilla in there, a little sweetness, kind of like candied cherry kind of vibe to it, kind of nose to it. Very pleasant, not heavy. Obviously proof points between these is 90 and 93, so you're not gonna be too heavy with the alcohol in either one of these. I don't have a crazy preference between these two. I will say that my experience so far with Blanton's has not been something that I've been absolutely crazy about. I do enjoy it, and again, they're single barrels, so that could change. And you know, if you don't know what a single barrel is, so whereas this product over here is a small batch product, meaning that it has multiple barrels combined into it, and so it can have it can have more of a consistent flavor profile, whereas this Blanton's is a single barrel. All Blanton's products are going to be single barrels, which means that there can be more variability from bottle to bottle and barrel to barrel, depending on where it's stored in the rick house and temperature and when it was pulled and all these different things. So my experience with this one thus far is I'm not absolutely in love with it. I prefer plenty of other bourbons to it. With that said, I do have a couple other Blantons, and it'll be interesting to see when this one's finished and I open up another one. Honestly, when I get down to probably about here, I'll shoot a video of comparing this bottle of Blanton's to another one and see if there's much of a difference or if I'm just not a Blanton's fan. Oh, these are very similar, which I would suspect would be the case. So you have mash bill 1 and mash bill 2 when it comes to Buffalo Trace products in these two products. And Buffalo Trace is mash bill 1, which is gonna be the low rye between the two mash bills, and this is gonna be the higher rye between the two. Other than that, it's really similar, but you have a higher rye mash with Blanton's and a lower rye mash with the Buffalo Trace, which is what Eagle Rare is made from. So Buffalo Trace product just aged 10 years. And then that's how you get Eagle Rare. It's also E.H. Taylor and several other products. This one's a little bit more, oh man, that's honestly, they're so close. This one here is a little bit more cherry, a little bit more like red cherry, almost like cough medicine kind of cherry, medicinal cherry to it. This one still has that, but it's a little bit sweeter. More appealing to my palate, but you definitely still get it on both of them. You get that cherry. This one's slightly more medicinally than this one is. This is more like a grapey kind of aroma to it. Vanilla. This one was like red fruits and stuff like that. Okay, on the nose, honestly, these are super close. I would say this one here. I would say this one here would be, nose-wise, would beat this one out. It's honestly just because this one has a little bit, slightly more medicinal cherry aroma to it. I'm not a big fan of medicinal cherry, and this has just that little bit more than this one does. So for me on the nose, I'm gonna go this one right here over to Eagle, over by the Eagle Rare, which I believe was bottle 2. I will double check and confirm that, but I believe that was bottle 2. So this has the better nose over this one. Okay, let's go taste. Pleasant, I like that. Not overly burny, it doesn't last too long, but it gets a good palate coating. It's not very viscous, which I wouldn't suspect it's gonna be at that 90 proof realm with both of these. I suspect it's gonna be pretty, for me, it's gonna be pretty thin. I like higher proof bourbons, so for me personally, 90 proof is pretty low. Doesn't taste like water. It's not 80 proof. 80 proof would taste like straight water. On the front of it, I get some vanilla. I get a little bit of that. Well, I get the grapey, kind of like red cherry flavor comes through on the palate. Again, it's not a drop off the cliff finish. It does linger just slightly, but not very long, especially compared to a higher proof bourbon. So pretty good, enjoyable. Kind of savory, maybe a little bit savory. Not crazy complex though. I don't get a lot of, I mean, like there's other aromas there, but they're not punchy in the face like strong. Vanilla, some of that grapey cherryness is really what I pick up the predominance in on that one. Still like to nose this one better. First sip, which I usually don't base much off the first sip. First sip, I would say this one tastes a little bit sweeter. A little bit more sweetness and like brown sugar in that flavor, in that sip, opposed to that one. The grapey kind of flavor there is still present, but again, just like on the nose, slightly downgraded. A little bit sweeter, a little bit more of that. Well, I guess I say that, but then at the tail end of that one, I got a good amount of like grapiness on the back end of that one. Okay, I'm gonna revisit both these one more time. It's not a lot in each one of these, so I wanna make sure I get as much exposure as I can. This is hard because they're so similar. Okay, I'm gonna say that I pick this glass, pick that one over this one. I'm gonna say that's the glass that I think is the winner. Okay, so I had to go back and recheck the footage because I didn't do, since this is the first time I've done it like this, what I should do next time is take the bottle out and set it in front of the glass, and I didn't do that. So I had to go back and check the footage to make sure that I'm actually saying the right bottle. So bottle 2 was the one that I preferred over bottle 1. So, drum roll please. The winner of this family feud battle is Eagle Rare. The horse lost to the birdie. Came down with his claws. Killed the horse. Done. Horse dead. Blanton loses. Bird wins. Eagle Rare, the winner.